welcome back to another episode of Does It Matter? And in this show, we welcome my friend, my family, and maybe you guys to talk about some interesting topic. So in today's show, we're gonna talk about filmmaking, and also especially in film school. So you're a fresh graduate in high school, you're wondering, should you pursue film? Should you go into this film kind of thing, right? This is the episode for you. And we are all film students. We're gonna talk about film school to you to understand how film school work in Malaysia. So, without further ado, let's welcome our guests. Today we have not one, not two, but three guests here with us. We have Alex, Arya, Yihui. Say hi to the audience, guys. Hello. What's up? Very nice to have you all today. So, in today's topic, we're gonna talk about, does film school matter? So before we go into some serious stuff, before we go into the question and answer, let's introduce you guys. So let's tell the audience who are you, what have you been doing, and maybe tell us what's your position in production.
Hi guys, I'm Alex. I'm a cinematographer or a DOP from Sabah. Woo.
What's up? Woo. So Arya?
Hi, my name is Arya. I'm currently doing my diploma in broadcasting and film in IICT, and I usually do a lot of the script writing in my production team. So that's what I do.
Awesome, script writer. Alright, so Yihui, let's introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Yihui. I'm also studying broadcasting and film, and I also self-study in graphic design and illustration. Yeah.
Awesome. So we
Nice to
have
meet you.
designer, we have set designer, we have producer, we have DOP, and also we have script writer here with us. Talk about this interesting topic, does film school matter? So alright, let's jump right into the first question. What's the reason behind the decision of joining this course? Let's tell us your reason, Arya.
So for me, right, I was always intrigued with the behind the scenes aspect of filmmaking rather than being on screen myself. So I was a science student beforehand, and people always assumed that I would be like a doctor or an engineer or go through like law or something. But that wasn't for me. Film was what I wanted to do. It was like sort of like an escape. And why that was, it was because I really enjoy bringing like a lot of my creations to life, and I like to see how important it is to have so many possibilities of what our creative minds can do. And that is one of the decisions of why I decided to pursue this course. Yep.
Awesome. So you're like an A student in your school and jump into the filmmaking. Awesome. Very interesting story. So what about you, Alex?
For me, it wasn't like a very inspiring story, to be honest. Filmmaking wasn't actually my first choice at all. I actually wanted to study music and all these kind of things like mixing engineers, producers, stuff like that. But that didn't go well. So I just kind of wanna get a cert just for the sake of my parents lah, like college and stuff. So then my friend introduced to me the whole filmmaking world. So I just like the whole idea of like generally like making content. So I decided to search it up and just give it a shot, and that's who I am today, a filmmaker.
So very interesting story also. Let's hear about Yihui's story.
So for me, I think that's because I joined the club and society in my high school. So it helped me to, to know like what kind of the course that I want to go in. So because in that club, my rules is to shoot a short story to inspire people to join our event. So I think that it helps me to know what I want. Yeah, that's the reason.
Nice. Awesome. So you have like a totally different perspective of joining film school. That's very interesting, so that we know more about the story behind people joining film school. Alright, so now we know why you joined film school, but we don't know what inspired you. So tell us more about what inspired you to join film school. what inspired you to pursue film, basically?
I think it's just because I'm kind of a visual person. So when I watch a movie or a drama, it helped me to come out like an idea is like, oh, can I do that? So I want to make it like that. So that's why, yeah, that's for me.
Nice.
Pretty good, pretty good. All right, Aria, what about you?
So it's kind of like what Yue said lah, because it's also like kind of like what I said before. It's like bringing our creations to life and what our own creative minds are able to do. Not as much as what you can do as your own person. I feel like it's much more rewarding if you do it in a team, because they are just like creative minds times 1,000, which helps you make what you're achieving for in the future, especially in the film industry, much more rewarding for both you and your team. So I feel like this is what inspired me to pursue film, because there's just so many possibilities of what we can do.
Nice.
Awesome.
I think what inspired me to pursue film is I really love the whole concept of like capturing moments and like I feel that like if we like make a documentary out of something, or like just film the whole journey, like where you are like an A and you transform into B. I mean like the whole transformation. I think like people will appreciate that specific thing more. I really love the whole concept of like just capturing moments down, and hopefully the stuff that I'm capturing right now, like documentaries or like passion projects and stuff, hopefully my future family or my future kids will appreciate like I do. Yeah.
Future
Damn,
kids,
that's so
future
sweet.
kids.
That's so sweet. Awesome. That's so many story behind that. All right, so now we know why you pursue film. Now we know your inspiration to pursue film. And now I want to ask, before you join film school, what's your first impression of film school?
Wow.
So let's
What's
start.
your
Let's
first
start with this
impression?
question. This question is very interesting because we have a lot of expectation. So let's start with Yihui. What's your expectation? What's your first impression?
So before I go there, I just think that it's like a normal school, like everyone. But after that, I go there. I feel like everyone is so unique and creative.
Hey, thank you, man, bro. Unique.
Wow.
So you know, like
Compliments.
you have to be more like them. Like you have to also like be creative and you have your own style, something like that. Then, so I think that's my first impression.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Nice.
sweet. Thank you for your compliment. Alright. So let's move on to the next person. Alex, let's tell us your first impression.
So just to give you guys context, I'm a gear guy. So I really like, for example, like I'm a cinematographer. I really like to invest on like gears, monitors, cameras, vintage lenses, film cameras as well. I think I got a lot of expectations and a lot of excitement before going. So funny story is I actually looked up what is film school before I headed into film school lah. So but everything I saw on internet was like NYU or USC, all these like top school on the US. Like with all these like expensive gears, cinema cameras, Red, Arri, Blackmagic, and lights, like incredible expensive lights. Just got me all hyped up and excited. But when I stepped in first day of film school in Malaysia, it was a little bit different story. And that's for another day. But it was a whole different story lah. So
Totally agree with you. I think that's most of our expectation or first impression for film school, right? Like going to
Yeah.
film school, then carry one big camera and starting to shoot short films and stuff. That's
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
our expectation. But in reality, that's I think different story. Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
So
different story,
let's
man.
hear about Arya. What's your first
Um,
impression?
Mine was definitely very scary, very intense. I was in an environment that I wasn't necessarily used to before, especially since it's such an extroverted surrounding. Since I'm not that extroverted myself, which makes a person like me a little uncomfortable. But it was definitely an eye opener lah when I first started film school. It's also like what Yihui said before, like you first step in and then you see like all these people who are like levels higher above you. That just makes me even more scared because like they're probably up here and I'm down here and I just start. I know I just started, but it's still that, you know, that scary feeling
Yep,
like
yep.
can you do
Yeah.
better in the coming semesters? It's kind of like that.
100%. Yep. Awesome. Thank you for your sharing. Thank you for your sharing. It's very interesting. And I think most of us have that impression or have that first impression, or expectation in film school, you know. So very interesting to hear your story. And now, after so many things about film school, expectation and all, let's talk more about so let's tell us how you find your position now. Like you say you are DOP, you say you are scriptwriter, you say you are set designer, but tell us how do you find that position? Maybe you can share about your past project. Let's tell us more about you. Let's start with Alex.
Okay, I think it wasn't like a very inspiring or like a magic miracle story, but it's more like I think it's just sometimes you just shoot as much project as you can and just try out different positions, and eventually when the times goes by project, you will eventually find the most suitable position lah. Yeah.
Yep,
And
agree,
probably
agree.
the most passionate position. Yeah.
Totally agree with you. Alright, so next you have Yihui. How do you find your position?
So for me, I think I'm also the first of our project, which is Hentikan Stop It. Because it actually is my first time to really do like a film production process. So it helped me to, you know, like know how a film production works like. So I found my position when the production is going. So finally I do all the set design and also production planning and the storyboard because I think I'm good at this, so I take it. Yeah, that's all.
Awesome. If you guys didn't know Hentikan Stop It, you guys haven't watched the film, let's go check out our Hentikan Stop It in our YouTube. Correction tip YouTube. Go check it out. I'll put a link somewhere else here. So let's watch that video and come back to this podcast. Back to this talk show again. Right. So next we have Arya.
So when I first started, I was really adamant. I was very, very serious about writing. Not to say I didn't enjoy other aspects when it came to filmmaking. I was just really comfortable with where and how I was going to work if there came a time to provide my kind of assistant in teamworks lah. So just like Yihui said, like one of our first projects, we were in the same team. It was Hentikan Stop It. And I did the writing for those. So I was really comfortable with where I stood, even though I had no clue whatever I was doing. I just knew that I was going to write. So that's why I locked it in. I locked it.
Nice. Lost
Awesome.
it in.
Let's tell you guys
Time.
some behind like background about the Hentikan Stop It. The Hentikan Stop It, I think, is like our first ever project working together, and I
Yeah.
think that worked out pretty good and also got nominated and shortlisted. So go check out the video definitely. And yeah, so move on to the next question. Now we know how you find your position. Let's talk about past project and what do you think the past project have helped you become who you are today? And let's share about your story. Alex.
I think I won't get into the details of like the past projects that I did, documentaries, short films and stuff. But I have to say, I think that sometimes when you're shooting a project, you will learn a mistake, and it's something that you will never learn in school. The school never
Definitely.
teach you one. And
Definitely.
for example, for a very example, your own workflow. Everyone has their own workflow. So which
Yep, yep.
workflow is the most efficient workflow for you as a filmmaker, and
100%.
who makes you a better person? I think makes you a better person, makes you a better filmmaker, much more efficient filmmaker.
Yep.
And I really think that just keep shooting and just learn from your mistakes. It's like I think this is one thing that I'm trying to do is that after every shoot, every project, I wouldn't say every project that I did was every shoot that I did was like perfect. This is what I want. But sometimes I will just evaluate and say, what could I have done better, or like the lighting could have been better, or like the schedule, or like just the little things. I think just evaluate the whole process back again. I think it will eventually, like all these projects will makes you a much more better filmmaker in the future lah.
Yep. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing, Alex. So next up we have Yi Hui. Tells us what past project have helped you become who you are today.
I would say the first project helped me a lot, and the other is not a school project. That is a project for the client. I think it's give me a experience to face the client and argue with the client. And I would
Argue
say
with the
that,
client.
yeah,
That's
and
awesome. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and I was, and I would say that your classmate who have experience that will help you a lot. So I think that give me a lot.
That's good. That's very good to hear about argue with client. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's really awesome.
Sorry.
So let's share your part, Aria.
So have these past projects helped me for the better? I would say yes, definitely, because one of my first 3 projects that I did writing for, which was the Hentikan Stop It, I had like zero clue where to even like start, and I had to learn how to do it on my own, So, and with the team that I had beside me, it was surprisingly very easy, and it felt very nice to have that project, shortlisted, given the fact that I had no idea what I was doing. So
Yeah.
when it finally came to like the actual script writing course, I was very happy to find out that I learned more about writing in depth, and in one of those projects from that course, I get to showcase my work in a better light from my first. And that being said, there's still so much for me to learn, and that's why I think I can do a lot better, and it did help me,
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I think in general, project just help us lah. You do more and you will improve more. I think that's our take from this. And now we have a break, which is show you about correction tape production, which is our production, and that's our show you. Let's have a look. Awesome, that's a very good show reel. I think Alexa did that pretty good. Shout out to Alex. Alright, so next up we have the long-awaited question: does film school matter? So, the viewer have waiting this question for so long. So let's tell us, does film school matter? We start with Arya. Does film school matter to you?
So, if you ask me, that's a very, very subjective question. But to put it simply, it all depends on you, your hard work, your perseverance, and just how far you think you can go to commit yourself to your life's work, whatever that may be. It doesn't have to be in film, it can be in anything, okay?
Yeah.
So, that being said, film school may give you that experience rather than you just going in blindly. But to measure how effective film school will be, or how it would really affect your life in the long run, that is up to you and the decisions you make entirely, be it if you're as young as 17 or if you're young as 45. There is no one stopping you from taking film school. So what I'd like to say is that the worst enemy you can have is yourself, your inner saboteur. So if you keep that in mind, and if you wish to pursue in any kind of industry, especially in the film industry, you have to realize that your decisions will eventually affect you in the long run. So
Yep.
film school does give you that experience, but the decisions you make along the way will ultimately see if it really helped you or not lah, basically.
Yeah. Awesome. Definitely agree with you. What about Yihui? Does film school matter?
For me, I think my answer is also yes. Because I think it's depends on you, but for me, I think it's yes, because I'm a person like who have to giving me the time to build out my everything, my portfolio, everything, and it's a journey. So basically, I think it give more to experience about it. And
Yeah.
so for me, I think all this question is just depends of the person. Like, yeah, it's really depends on the person. For me,
Yeah.
I think it's like that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Alex? Does film school matter to you?
I personally think it's a no because, like I mentioned in the last question, I personally think that like when you face a problem on a shoot, on a project, the first thing that comes to mind is not go to a lecturer, but it's more like go to the web, go to Google and go to YouTube and just search up like how can I save this?
Yeah.
How can I solve this? Why is my camera have this problem? Why does my light have this problem? Stuff like that. So, and to be honest, there's so much free resources. There's so much YouTubers that's doing this kind of content.
Yep.
It's just everything is just on the web. It's just waiting for you to take it and receive it. So, I personally think you'd be no lah. Yeah.
Yep. I think this question is very, very sensitive, also very, very subjective question. And I think my take is, if you are a fresh graduate, you do know about film, you don't have experience about film, you have zero knowledge, I think film school is definitely for you. But if you are the person know about film and have worked with film production or company before, I think film school might not suitable for you. But there's always con and pros in film school. So I think the pro in film school is definitely the community, like the friendship you have, and maybe the person you met in film school that can maybe in the future they will become like very successful filmmaker, or maybe they open like production house and you can work with them. That's a very, very strong community and strong friendship there in film school. But also the con is you can learn so much in YouTube. You might not learn it in film school, but you learn it in YouTube. That's very like subjective or very, very different way to see this question. But you tell me, does film school matter to you? Comment in the below section, and we will talk about that in the comment section. And this episode is done. We're done here. So stay tuned for another episode of Does It Matter? See you guys there. We'll talk about some very interesting topic there. Ciao guys. Bye. We have some special guests, very, very big stars.
Hi, my name is Jingwen.
Hi, my name is Chulin.
Should stars do their own stunt? Do you agree? Do you disagree? And why do you agree and why do you disagree?
I feel like I'm really agree to this topic. They should perform in their own stunts. For example, like Jackie Chan.
Actually, I'm not really agree what Jingwen say